My parents always said, "Family is everything," as I watched my dreams slip away. When my brother stole my work, they told me to be generous. In our house, he was the star and I was an afterthought. So I packed my bags, left, and started building my own path. But cutting them off wasn't enough. They had other plans. Let me start from the beginning. I'm Noah Carter, 26, and it's been 8 years since I left home. Leaving felt hard then, but staying away was the real challenge. My father, William, ran our family like a business, his word law. My mother, Helen, obsessed over what others thought. My older brother, Ethan, was their pride, called Dr. Carter despite dropping out of medical school after 1 year. I was the quiet one, always in the background. I make short films with a used camera and a creaky laptop. It's not a hobby, though Dad calls it a waste unless it pays. Mom says I'm too sensitive. Ethan calls it playing pretend. For 9 months, I'd worked toward a national creative grant, funding for real projects. I'd made 2 films and landed an interview for Thursday night. I took time off work and borrowed a jacket to look sharp. But 4 days before, at dinner, Dad announced a family event. Their shipping company was throwing a gala for Ethan's summer internship, spun as a major achievement. It was the same night as my interview. I said I couldn't go. Dad set his fork down, glaring. "Family comes first, Noah," he said. I argued the grant could change my life, but he scoffed. "Life? You mean your little videos? Be serious, you'll have other chances." Mom said skipping would look bad. Ethan smirked. "No one will miss you." I protested, but arguing with Dad was pointless. Disagreeing was selfish, resisting was ungrateful. So I went to the gala, clapping as Ethan spoke about his medical future, while Dad bragged about his 2 successful sons to clueless guests. I missed my interview, no rescheduling, no second chances. I emailed the grant board, begging for another shot. 3 days later, they replied. They'd moved on. 9 months of work gone. A week later, I saw a post online. Ethan had won first place in a local film contest. The thumbnail looked familiar. I downloaded the video. It was mine, identical shots and edits, only the credits changed to Ethan's name. The contest was small, maybe 50 entries, perfect for him to steal my work unnoticed, as no one knew about my grant application. I confronted him in the kitchen. "You stole my film," I said. He didn't look up from his phone. "If it was yours, they'd know. Guess it's mine now." I pressed. "You had no right." He shrugged. "Don't be dramatic, Noah. It's just a video. Be happy it won." I looked to Mom and Dad. Dad folded his newspaper. "Ethan's stressed," he said. "This helps him." Mom added, "Learn to share, Noah. Families support each other." Share. I'd filmed late nights, edited on too much coffee, poured my heart into those stories, and they called it sharing. That night I sat in my room, staring at my hard drive. This wasn't new, it's how it always was. By morning, I'd decided. I wouldn't wait for another betrayal or beg for their respect. If they wanted Ethan as their only son, fine, I was done. I left that night. No yelling, no slammed doors. I took my camera bag, a duffel with clothes, my hard drive, and laptop, leaving a note. "Don't wait up, I'm gone." I didn't look back. For 3 nights, I crashed on a coworker's couch, cramped but better than home. On the 4th day, I found a cheap apartment on the east side, a rundown 2-bedroom with peeling paint and thin walls, but affordable if I kept working. The other room was taken by Ryan Holt, 30, who'd been ousted from his uncle's tech startup. "Family screws you worst," he said, not bitter, just factual. We hit it off. Ryan was blunt, funny, and made big problems feel smaller, like the brother I wished I'd had. I worked mornings at a cafe and nights delivering food, coming home after midnight to edit until I couldn't stay awake. I started a film channel under a fake name, posting weekly. The first video got 60 views, then 130, then 96. Ryan gave feedback as we watched. Months later, Aunt Laura called, the only family member who saw me as more than Ethan's shadow. "I heard you left," she said. "I'm proud of you, Noah." Those words meant more than my parents' empty praise. She offered help. I said no, needing to prove I could do it alone. Those months were tough. Rent ate my savings. I lived on noodles. My editing setup was barely alive, but it was mine. No one called my work pointless. Then things changed. I made a short, Night Pulse, about a janitor, nurse, and delivery driver working overnight, never meeting. It was raw and real. I uploaded it and moved on. A week later, the City Arts Council emailed me. Someone saw Night Pulse and recommended it. They offered a small grant and a mentorship with a film incubator. I stared, shocked. The grant covered gear and rent. The mentorship, real editor feedback, was gold. I told Ryan, he grinned. "This is it, man." I called Aunt Laura and she cried. "This is your start," she said. The grant was $10,000 for 8 months. Half went to bills, the rest bought gear and festival fees. It wasn't riches, but it was freedom. I felt like I was building something real. A week after Night Pulse got noticed, Mom texted, "We're proud, come home." It felt fake, I ignored it. Days later, Dad texted, "Come back and do something worthwhile." Worthwhile meant helping Ethan. I didn't reply. Aunt Laura had shared my film online, and Mom saw it, telling Ethan everything, grant, mentorship, all of it. That's when things unraveled. An email hit. An anonymous complaint claims you misused grant funds. Your funding is paused. Someone accused me of fraud. They wouldn't say who, but I knew. I sent every receipt, but the funds stayed frozen. Then a video spread online, claiming I admitted to stealing another filmmaker's work. A bad edit of my own clips, my voice twisted. I thought it'd flop, but comments called me a fraud. Sponsors ghosted me. A gear deal fell through. Someone was ruining my name. A week later, an incubator friend sent a festival submission list. My concept, script, and title were there under Ethan's name. He'd hacked my cloud folder and stolen an unfinished project. I was livid. Ryan calmed me. "Don't react, that's what he wants, think bigger." He was right, but it burned. Then it got worse. One night after a delivery shift, I found our apartment door ajar. Inside, my editing gear was smashed, memory cards gone, lenses broken. A note on my desk read, "Stay in line." I called the police. They filed a report but said, "No forced entry, no witnesses, tough to prove, especially with family." Next morning, Ryan found a hidden camera by our window, aimed at our living room, dusty like it had been there weeks. The break-in felt different, sloppy, angry. I figured Ethan set the camera to spy, but the vandalism was him losing it. This wasn't just jealousy, it was sabotage. It almost broke me. I stopped posting, staring at a blank screen, my drive gone. I considered quitting, selling my gear, finding a safe job. But that note, "Stay in line," kept me going. They wanted me to disappear so Ethan could shine. One night, Ryan brought coffee. "Quit if you want," he said, "not because some jerk trashed your stuff." He was right, I wouldn't let them win. Next morning, I started Stolen Frames, a documentary about creators whose work was stolen, names smeared, dreams crushed. I compiled every email, screenshot, and upload. I quit deliveries but kept the cafe job. Ryan covered some rent. The film took 5 months, weekends filming, editing, post shifts, 3 all-nighters weekly. My mentor let me use the incubator's studio. Without it, my laptop would have died. I was building my own path. Ryan's advice was clear. Do it smart. No rants, solid proof. We organized evidence over 3 nights, fake video screenshots, Ethan's stolen uploads, council emails, parental guilt texts. We built a timeline from the night I left to the vandalism. We added locks, motion sensors, encrypted backups, one hidden in the apartment, one with Aunt Laura. She stored it without questions, the only person I trusted. Ryan traced the complaint email to my hometown. The stolen file's metadata showed my creation dates. Aunt Laura found a cloud folder, Ethan's work, with smear drafts, fake videos, and a reputation plan. Ethan saved it all, thinking he'd never get caught. I told my mentor vaguely what was happening. She suggested a lawyer for IP and digital rights, one working on contingency. I paid $250 monthly. Ryan covered $1,000 in fees, waiving off my attempts to repay. The lawyer said, "Stay quiet online, build your case, then act." He drafted a demand letter to Ethan for theft and defamation. I filmed Stolen Frames, showing night shifts, interviewing artists with stolen work and my empty desk. It was raw, real, the point. I posted a 3-minute teaser, break-in footage, screenshots, a voiceover on Envy. A film blog shared it. Views hit tens of thousands. A documentary group offered feedback and festival submission. I wasn't ready but thanked them. The group waived the $100 entry fee. Then Stolen Frames was accepted for a major indie festival. I stared at the email. My first feature, Born of Betrayal, would screen for critics and pros. Hours later, Mom emailed, "Family dinner this weekend." Your father thinks we can fix your reputation if you're reasonable. Dad wrote, let's talk like adults. No apologies, just control. I showed Ryan. They're scared, he said. They want you back before you go too far. I agreed to the dinner for answers, not peace. Ryan and I planned I'd record with a pocket device. He'd wait outside, logging timestamps via coded texts. This was about evidence. By the dinner, Stolen Frames was nearly done, with hours of footage and a legal path forming. I felt strong. They thought they'd pull me back. They didn't know I was ready to expose them with proof. I arrived at my parents' house on a cold Sunday. The porch felt strange, though I'd played there as a kid. Mom opened the door, smiling too brightly. Noah, she said, hugging me stiffly. Inside, my old photo hung crooked. The table had too much food for four. Dad sat scrolling. Ethan looked bored. Glad you made time for family, Dad said. Glad you invited me, I replied evenly. Small talk started, questions about my films, jabs at my online stuff, subtle put-downs. I stayed calm, recording every word. Halfway through, Dad set his phone down. Let's talk purpose, he said. You need to think about the family's future. I held back a laugh. Meaning, Mom leaned in. Ethan's starting a medical consulting firm, she said proudly. He needs help, you could work with him. How? I asked, knowing. Dad said, your platform's growing. Handle marketing, publicity, your strengths, be part of something bigger. They'd called my work a hobby, now it was useful for Ethan. He smirked. That plagiarism mess hurt you, Noah. Working with me could fix it. I stared. The mess you caused, he shrugged. Old news, people forget, but not when you're with someone successful. I breathed deeply. So I fix your mess with my skills, Mom cut in. This is about moving forward, Noah. Families help each other. I stayed steady. Where was the help when I couldn't pay rent? When my work was stolen? Dad frowned. You're dramatic, we've always supported you. You supported Ethan, I said. Silence, Mom softened. We're building a bridge, don't burn it with bitterness. I leaned back. Bitterness isn't the problem, truth is. Dad slid a folder over. We drafted a family partnership agreement. Read it. It was one-sided, giving Ethan control over branding and profits. My name was barely mentioned. I closed it. I'll review it, I said, pocketing it for evidence. As I grabbed my coat, Ethan followed. You're not that big, he said. You can't win without us. I met his eyes. We'll see, he smirked. Good luck with your film. Outside, Ryan waited with his laptop. I handed him a timestamp. Every moment was recorded. How was it? He asked. They want me to build Ethan's business, I said, and think I owe them. Ryan snorted. We got what we needed. I uploaded the audio to an encrypted folder and sent it to the lawyer. I felt numb, not victorious. They wanted control, not peace. They didn't see it was gone. The festival was huge and terrifying. Stolen Frames was done. Ryan helped set up a booth with a poster. Stolen Frames, betrayal, ownership rising up. The screening theater was nearly full, students, filmmakers, critics, a few producers. My hands shook as the lights dimmed. The film opened with my trashed desk, the note, stay in line. Interviews followed. A musician whose song was stolen, a photographer uncredited, a designer's work claimed by a sibling. My story wove through emails, screenshots, proof. No drama, just truth. The credits rolled, silence, then loud applause. People stood. Someone yelled, powerful. I froze, overwhelmed. Afterward, a studio asked about a series. A journalist wanted an interview. A festival organizer offered a card for next year. As we packed, I saw them, Mom, Dad, Ethan, by the exit. My stomach churned. Mom said, your film was intense. Honest, I corrected. Dad crossed his arms. You made us monsters. I showed the truth, I said. Ethan stepped up. This could have been private, I laughed. You faked videos, broke in, stole my work. Privacy, he flinched. You won't get away with this. With truth, Dad said. You've shamed us. Think how this looks. That's the point, I said, walking away. 3 days later, an article on stolen frames went viral in creative circles. A must-see documentary. It hit indie film communities hard. Ethan's name became toxic there. My parents thought they were safe since their friends didn't see it. They didn't get the shift. Strangers emailed, thanking me for voicing their stories of stolen work. Ethan stayed quiet. Aunt Laura said he claimed I lied, but others he'd wronged spoke out. His name became a joke. She said he smashed a glass at a dinner, yelling I'd ruined him. Dad had a stroke soon after. My lawyer said our case was strong: stolen films, fake claims, vandalism, texts, all backed by evidence. Ethan was served. My parents were named for enabling him. His festival entry was rejected, his firm lost funding, his clinic deal collapsed. Truth spreads fast. Aunt Laura texted, "Your mom called. They're panicked, want to talk." I ignored it. Their calls went to voicemail. They could talk to my lawyer. A week later, Ryan showed me an article. Documentary inspires Creative Rights Fund. A foundation cited stolen frames for a program helping creators fight theft. My tiny apartment project was making change. My parents sent a polished email. "We're sorry. We didn't mean harm. Can we meet?" I deleted it. I didn't need their regret. They faced their consequences as I had mine. The night before the lawsuit filed, Ryan and I stood on our balcony, city lights below. "This is the start," he said. "Yeah," I replied. "And I'm telling the story." The lawsuit moved forward. Ethan's lawyer offered weak settlements. We rejected them. We wanted accountability, not cash. The evidence was airtight. Their defense, "He's exaggerating," wouldn't hold. One rainy November night, a knock came. I opened the door to Ethan, soaked, thin, shaking, a shadow of himself. He'd hit rock bottom. Thank you for watching my story. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe and press the bell icon. Stay tuned for more real-life stories, get more experiences.